Alright, on Thursday we talked about complex zeros of a polynomial, and we talked about that these complex zeros come in what we're going to call a conjugate pair, which means if you have a positive a plus bi, then the a minus bi will also follow. So in class I said, okay, if we have 2 plus 6i, then you're also going to have 2 minus 6i. These are called conjugate pairs, and they always go together. So, when we're looking at the section in the homework from 7 through 16, we're looking to find our conjugate pairs that are missing. So, on number 8, it says we're going to have 3 zeros, and one of those zeros is 4. Another one is 3 plus I, and if I'm going to have a degree 3, meaning 3 zeros, I have to have 3 answers. Well, anytime you have a 3 plus I, we need what we just called the conjugate pair, so I also need a 3 minus I. So another one I did in class was number 16. Number 16 says that we're going to have a degree 6, which means I'm probably going to have 6 zeros. So here's 1, 2, 3, and each one of these has a pair that's missing. So the pair that is missing with the I is the negative I. The pair that's missing with 3 minus 2i is 3 plus 2i. And the pair that's missing with negative 2 plus I is negative 2 minus I. So let's go see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my 6 zeros. So this section's pretty easy. You just go through and you find your missing conjugate pairs. Let's go look at 17 through 22. On 17 through 22, they want you to form the polynomial, which means you're going to go find your zeros, you're going to write them as factors, and after you write them as factors, you're going to go distribute. So the one I did in most of my classes was 21. It says it's a degree 4, which means I should have 4 zeros. So I've got a 0 at 3, and then it uses the word that we learned earlier in the week with a multiplicity of 2. That means 3 happens twice. They also tell me I have a 0 at negative I, and because of conjugate pairs, I'm also going to have one at positive I. So now I'm going to go write my factors. Remember, it's always the opposite. So I've got x minus 3 times x minus 3 times x minus a negative I. I'll simplify that later. And then x minus a positive I. And then from here, we're going to FOIL these two, and then multiply them together. Well, x minus 3 times x minus 3, we can FOIL in our head. X squared minus 6x plus 9. Over here, I've got x minus a negative I and x minus I. So we know that this is going to change to x plus I times x minus I. And I'm going to go ahead and FOIL that because it's been a long time since we've done i's. So we get x times x is x squared, x times negative I is negative ix, I times x is a positive ix, and I times negative I is a negative I squared. This leaves me with x squared, those are going to cancel, minus I squared. Well, I squared is negative 1, so I have minus a negative 1, which is plus 1. So I'm going to take this binomial and this trinomial, and I'm going to multiply them together. So I've got x squared times x squared, it's x to the 4th. X squared times 1 is x squared. Now I'm going to go multiply by my negative 6. Negative 6x times x, negative 6x to the 3rd. Negative 6x times 1 is negative 6x. Now I'm going to go multiply by the 9. 9 times x squared is 9x squared. 9 times 1 is 9. And then we're going to combine like terms. So I get x to the 4th. I have a negative 6x to the 3rd. I have a positive x squared and a 9x squared. So give me 10x squared. I have a negative or minus 6x and a plus 9. So that's how that section is going to work. Okay, I'm going to turn the page. On 23 through 29, it says use the given 0 to find the remaining zeros of each function. Okay, So right here on this one, the first thing I'd say was, okay, it's got a degree of 3, so I need 3 zeros. I have a 2i, and I have a negative 2i. What I need to do is use synthetic division to find my other 0. So I gotta go try all my different p's over q's to figure out what the missing 0 would be. And we did that on Monday, so I'm sure you can go do that. So I'll kind of get you started. You're gonna have 1, negative 4, 4, negative 16, and then what we're going to do is go try different answers over here. We can try positive 1, we can try negative 1, we could try 4, we could try negative 4, so I'll just go pick one and try it. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to go try negative 1. So you bring down the first term. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, and now we add. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Negative 5 times positive 1 times negative 1 is positive 5. That gives me 9. Gives me negative 1, and that gives me negative 25. So this is not a factor because I didn't get a 0. So you're just going to keep trying that until you find the one that gives you a 0. You're going to do the same thing for 24. On 24, they gave you negative 5i. So we also know we have positive 5i, and then you're going to try different factors until you find the one that gives you your zeros. At the bottom of the worksheet, on 41 through 43, it says, explain why the facts given are contradictory, meaning why are they false? So on 41, it says, f of x is a polynomial of degree 3. That means I need 3 zeros. It tells me my zeros are 4 plus I, 4 minus I, so those are a conjugate pair. Then they also tell me I have a 0 at 2 plus I. Well, I know if I have a 0 at 2 plus I need the conjugate pair of 2 minus I. So it can't be a degree 3. It has to be a degree 4, so that's why this is false. It needs to be degree 4 because 2 plus I has to have the conjugate pair 2 minus I. And that's how that section works. So hopefully that'll help you with this worksheet.